Bob Stuber. I'm Director of Job and Family Services at Clark County, so I'm interested in the jobs part. But also, I have a farm, and I farm in Clark County, and they're in the process of just starting to drill a well in Clark County, which is not part of the Eastern Ohio shale situation. But I just wanted to pass along that apparently you're doing something right, because the company from Michigan said that they were really surprised by the approval process, and that they expected weeks and weeks of waiting on the approval for the permit, and they actually received it in 3 weeks. And they said it was very efficient and very well done, and so they were very, if you're looking at that comment about other states and drilling here, apparently you've ramped up to a degree that the companies are feeling that you're working as a partner.
Any other?
Thanks. Good morning. I'm Ben Hughes, a reporter with the Hill newspaper. I wanted to ask, you've walked us through what some of the legislative process and regulatory process is going to be. At the same time, there's several studies that are ongoing right now. The federal EPA is doing a multi-year study of the potential health effects of fracking, and the National Academies Institute of Medicine has also decided that they want to take a look at this. Given the speed at which this is going to be ramping up, is it appropriate to have this development be speeding along so quickly at a time when you've got not just EPA but other people still figuring out what the health effects of this are going to be?
Well, let me take the first crack at that and say, yes, it is appropriate. We have been fracking in Ohio for at least 30 years, around the country maybe longer than that. I can't speak for that. I'm not aware of any issues in the state of Ohio in all the years that we've been fracking. And I think it is good that we're doing the studies. We need a scientific-based approach. We don't need a hysteria-based approach. And what I see are a lot of people trying to scare the hell out of people with misinformation because they don't have the facts. So let's do a scientific-based study. Again, I'll go back to my original point. I don't think anybody in industry gets up in the morning and says, what can we do to mess up the environment today? But we're using technologies that have been proven over decades of use. We continue to improve those procedures as technology changes. So I absolutely support the continued use of fracking as a means of developing these natural resources, because we've shown we can do it safely and responsibly.
If that proof is so manifestly clear, do you think that these studies are even necessary then? I mean, clearly the people I think in medicine feel like this does deserve a look at than the people at EPA.
I think people are going to conduct studies whether we think they're worthwhile or not. So let the scientists take a look at it, but let's base it on the facts. Let's not base it on some hysterical notion or some preconceived notion, because as you all know, whether it's in a court case where you need to hire an expert witness, or if it's a study where you want to get a certain result, I can go out and hire somebody to get the result I want if I pay them the right amount of money. So let's just make sure that whatever we're doing is based on scientific fact, not on anecdotal evidence and not on anomalies.
It's somewhat ironic that that would occur now. North Dakota's been going for a long time, and as the Senator pointed out, here in Ohio, when we had the last oil boom, World War I era, they were very definitely engaged in these activities. I mean, the government can do two things. They can encourage and they can help people to have the proper tools to do the job, or they can run in and turn on a fire hose and stop progress right in its tracks. This was going on in New York State, it was going on in Pennsylvania, it was going on in Michigan. So I kind of wonder where they were when these other things were going on.
Yeah.
I think, first and foremost, health and safety of the populace is critical, and protecting our water supply is also very important. And we hear those concerns. I hear those concerns, and I believe they're valid concerns. However, some of my colleagues, called for a moratorium. I don't believe that's necessary. We don't have any evidence to suggest that's necessary. I think we really need to, at this point, make sure that developing this resource appropriately, responsibly, and that we're partnering with industry, with the environmental community, and there are those of us that believe that all those concerns that have been raised are valid and should be looked into, and these studies should be conducted. And I think we ought to look into what they produce, but I don't think at this time it would be appropriate to call for an all-out moratorium just to wait upon these studies. We've got a lot at stake, a lot of economic growth and development, job creation in a part of the state that really has struggled for decades. So, I hear those concerns. I think they're valid. I think we need to explore them. However, I don't think we should halt responsible development.
I have one last question for the